Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boy.
Bernie Sanders destroys the Democratic Party. After the Democratic Party got that devastating loss to Trump, got destroyed by the Republican Party all around, presidential, Senate, and they still looking at the House, but hey, it would have been the House. Got destroyed by the Republican Party. The Democrats are all up in shambles, wondering what went wrong, which we know a lot went wrong. But Bernie Sanders had some things to say about why the Democrats got straight up destroyed by the Republican Party. And we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and get right on into that. Let's see, y'all. I got the little paragraph here this is all in Bernie Sanders' words, y'all. This is exactly what he said, his full statement. We just gonna read through it and see where it goes. See what he got to say. All right, y'all. It should come as no great surprise that the Democratic Party, which has abandoned working class people, would find that the working class has abandoned them. In the first statement, he hit it on the head. The working class has straight up abandoned the Democratic Party. That's known at this point. I feel like I'm part of the working class, and I felt the same way. Like, the Democratic Party abandoned the working class. They weren't focused on the working class. They felt like they were focused on a lot of other things that a lot of people, a majority of the working class, was not asking for. But we're going to continue. First, it was the white working class, and now it is the Latino and Black workers as well. Yeah, y'all, the white working class definitely did not vote for them. And we know for sure the Latino working class got up out of there. And Black workers, y'all, we straggling behind. But a few of us did say we were done. A few of us moved forward with it, but a lot of people, they did not move on. All right, y'all. Let me try to make this a little bigger on your screen. All right. I think that's better. I think that's better for y'all. Let me check. Yeah, that's better right there. While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change, and they're right. Today, while the very rich are doing phenomenal, well, 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and we have more income and wealth inequity than ever before. Unbelievably, real inflation accounted for weekly wages for average American workers are actually lower now than they were 50 years ago. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. I did not know that. Inflation is actually, quote unquote, lower. Today, despite an explosion in technology and worker productivity, many young people will have a worse standard of living than their parents. And many of them worry that artificial intelligence and robotics will make a bad situation even worse. Y'all, I'm going to continue reading this and I'm going to go back and break this thing down because that true as ever. Today, despite spending far more per capita than other countries, we remain the only wealthy nation not to guarantee health care to all as a human right, and we pay by far the highest prices in the world of prescription drugs. We also, among major countries, cannot even guarantee paid family and medical leave. Hey, all this is true. Today, despite strong opposition from a majority of Americans, we continue to spend billions funding the extremist Netanyahu government's all-out war against the Palestinian people, which has led to horrific humanitarian disaster of mass malnutrition and the starvation of thousands of children. Will the big money interest in well-paid consultants who control the Democratic Party learn any real lessons from his disaster campaign? Will they understand the pain and political alienation that tens of millions of Americans are experiencing? Do they have any idea as to how we can take on the increasingly powerful oligarchy, which has so much economic and political power? Probably not. In the coming weeks and months, those of concerned about grassroots democracy and economic justice need to have some very serious political discussions. Stay tuned. Bernie Sanders just hit this whole thing on the head, guys. This is crazy. I mean, this is exactly how middle Americans are feeling. This is exactly how the working class is feeling. This is exactly how I honestly feel like a lot of black men are feeling, in a sense. Working class men are feeling, for sure. And at this point, a lot of women are feeling this as well. So y'all, let's go ahead and break this thing down a little more. I'd like to break it down, hit some of the points that he hit, and let's just have a conversation about it. Starting with the working class people feeling abandoned, y'all. Under the Biden-Harris administration, the working class feels more and more as if the money that we are earning goes, we can do less with it. It's not that we feel, we see this. We see this in our utility bills. We see this in car payments going up, even though under Trump, I don't know how much less that the car payments going to go up. But anyway, we know that car payments cost just as much as it does to live. Living expenses are through the roof. That's rent, that is mortgages, that's owning a home at all. Your groceries, I hit groceries, I hit utilities, your housing bill. Everything just feels more and more expensive these days on the same amount of money that our parents might have made at the same time. That's how people are feeling today. Like you said, 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. I'm not going to blame the government all the way on this. I love to hold some personal accountability for this. Americans aren't very financial savvy with their money, but that still doesn't help. It still doesn't help. You know, people feel as if they are in worse situations month to month. Just, I'm telling y'all, it is bad out here. I would love to blame the government for 60% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. The only part that I can really say the government can help out with is lowering inflation and encouraging people to get higher paying jobs and all. I don't personally blame the government for Americans living paycheck to paycheck. I blame a lot of Americans because the American dream it's not there. I review all the time of the debt that Americans have accumulated as young people, from old people, all around. America is bad with debt. We are bad with debt. We had way too much debt. So I don't want to just completely blame the government on American people's choices with their money. What I will say though is, like I said, inflation is through the roof. It does feel like even if I do make better choices, like I have a budget, I know exactly where my money goes. My wants and needs categories, the needs category just continues to expand. Like it can't stay in that one area. Every year for most Americans, rent goes up. I used to pay like 150 for groceries. Now on my budget, it's feeling more like I go over every month. So I need to say on my budget that it's $200. I go over it. If I'm not on the road and I'm at home, sitting at home, buying groceries costs way more than $150 that I used to spend on average. So the needs portion goes up, but the wants portion, Americans are just out of control on that point. But let's continue. I want to read this. I want to read this part all over again because this is Steve Jobs in a nutshell. Today, despite an explosion in technology and worker productivity, many young people will have a worse standard of living than their parents, and many of them worry that artificial intelligence and robotics will make a bad situation even worse. That whole statement, 1,000% true. Y'all don't know I am in this field per se. I am in this field. My job is in warehousing, y'all. I'm in warehousing, but I'm not on the working in a warehouse. I'm on the logistics and product automation of warehousing. So, yeah, your job is getting took by artificial intelligence and robotics. Yes, your job will get took by artificial intelligence and robotic if you do not make yourself more valuable to the workplace. Just for example, there have been cases where warehouses, they build a whole new warehouse. So now there's less need for people to walk from one aisle to the other aisle to build packages that they're selling. Instead, now the box comes in on the truck, it's conveyors bring it from one end to the next end and put it exactly, they break the whole product down. It's less people needed to do these jobs at a more productive rate, guys. So you as a person reading this, we can blame the government. Yes, the government can help out. You know, they're talking about universal basic income, depending on if you're a universal basic income, they were going to tax companies who automate, basically. They automate their facilities so that they could give it to more Americans, which honestly I see us going that way because there are going to be less and less people needed to run a McDonald's, y'all. It will be a whole bunch of machines and one person controlling the machines running that whole McDonald's. So you need to be putting yourself in a position to be that one person running the McDonald's, not the people losing their jobs because you were a fry cook. You need to make yourself more valuable in the workplace by going to school and not being the person who's actually working in the warehouse, but you're the person who's making sure that the warehouse is running. So that's exactly what happens on a lot of these sites that I'm on, y'all. They close down whole warehouses. Whole warehouses get shut down. And it's sad to say, but technology will continue to progress. So you have to get on the other side of this thing quick. Quick. Do it for sure. Discontinue guaranteed health care for all. You know, that is a lovely thing to say, but I still say this is on the middle class. This is on the middle class. We're going to have to vote to pay more taxes if we want to see healthcare guaranteed for all. Would I be okay with it? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I do think it's sad that everybody can't get real good health care. Something has to be done with that. Something has to be done with that. The fix to me, if we want universal health care, it's going to be middle class is going to have to take that on the head and pay some more taxes. That's how it kind of works in Europe. We all know that, well, let's move on to the next. We all know that a lot of college age students, are not in support of Israel right now in that Palestine war that's going on. It's a lot of young people who are not with it, which this has always been a thing throughout time. Y'all remember during the Vietnam War, you had the hippies and all that stuff. Like, this is a continuous thing. I don't like wars personally, but you do have to realize, like, a lot of these wars. I heard something the other day. And what it was saying was, Israel was saying, but y'all do know, like, we buy weapons from America. So how does this work? America sends money to Israel. America sends money to Ukraine. Then Ukraine goes and buys weapons from American companies. Israel goes and buys weapons from American companies. I think it's personally a scam to the American people. It's a wealth transfer from the middle class to the rich. That's what it is. It's a transfer. So yeah, that's where your tax paying dollars are going to the rich to pay for weapons. We'll continue. That right there, that whole situation, yeah, we don't like it. Overall, this whole thing, big money interest, well-paid consultants, they all control the Democratic Party, y'all. Democratic Party. And yeah, the Democratic Party gave nothing. They didn't give us democracy or economic justice at all during this whole thing. When they decided to kick Biden to the street, was there a democratic process at all? No. Kamala just got put up there. Kamala, you're next. I don't remember putting a vote in for VP Harris. I did not. Economic justice. I know y'all have been seeing what's been going around with all the billions of dollars that y'all donated to the Harris campaign. Y'all haven't seen? Oh, it went to all of those performances. It went to what was it? $500 million a day so that they could put Kamala, VP Harris, on the Sphere in Vegas. I have numbers here. 5 million to Meg the Stallion, so that y'all could go to that concert in Georgia and see her shake her booty on stage, give y'all a little performance so that y'all could get in the room. $5 million went to Meg. Meg didn't do that for free. It makes it seem like a lot of their endorsements were paid for. $3 million to Lizzo for her to just talk on stage. It seems like her endorsement wasn't free. 1.8 million to Eminem. And he came up on stage and introduced Obama in Detroit. And then they said 1 million for Oprah. And then 6 figures for her to appear on Call Her Daddy podcast. It seems like a lot of these celebrities are paid for. That's all I'm saying. A lot of this money that y'all raised, billions of dollars that y'all raised, misused, wasted. 20 million to buy endorsements of celebrities. We don't want to hear from celebrities. What we tell y'all, shut up and dribble or shut up and sing. I feel like y'all have a voice, but to push it on people, gosh, Lee. To push that on people, no. I don't support that. I do not support pushing. I don't support listening to a lot of famous people, I just don't. I feel like a lot of famous people are in totally different situations than the normal American. Like I said with LeBron James last week. He said, it don't matter who. We don't it ain't gonna bother us. It's literally not going to affect LeBron James in any way. The election did not affect him, whether it would have been Harris or Trump. LeBron was still gonna make money. So I don't support them endorsements at all. The Democrats, they were focused on all the wrong things. Even though I do think, basic human civil rights is important. It is important, yes. Yes. However, as y'all see, the working class American, majority of Americans, felt abandoned. And in turn, they abandoned the Democratic Party. Hey, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. That's pretty much everything I need to say about that. Bernie Sanders burned a hole in the Democratic Party. I look forward to seeing what's next for the Democratic Party, guys. I look forward to seeing what is next for them. What will they bring to the table? Because, like I said, I felt abandoned by the Democratic Party. I'm not even gonna say student loans. Anyway, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know how y'all feel about Bernie Sanders straight up destroying the Democratic Party. I mean, he just went in on them. Went in on them. Kudos to you, Bernie Sanders, for bringing light to the dark. Everybody acts like they're confused how Trump won. He straight up destroyed them. Not just Trump. I'm not going to say how the Republican Party won. Straight up destroyed that party, man. It was crazy. It was crazy.